Okay. Okay. I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Alex Hilliard and Attorney Chris Barber. We are proudly standing with CWA and Danye Profit and the other union workers in support of the family of Kendrick Hudson. We also have present with us today his father, Leon Hudson, and his mother, Erica Vernon. We're here to declare justice for Kendrick Hudson because his life mattered. And this tragedy never should have happened. And it shouldn't take this tragedy to make the airport and the airline try to address the inadequate lighting and dangerous conditions for airport workers, not just here in Charlotte, but all over America. And so we stand here today fighting for the safety of airport workers all across America in the name of Kendrick Hudson. His legacy will be one that we will have better policies to prevent this from happening to anybody else's children, especially to Leon and to Vicky, to know that his life was not in vain. Erica and Leon will address you at the end of this. Now we're going to hear from Attorney Alex Hilliard, and then you'll hear from the union representative who testified before the United States Congress about this very important issue, and that will be Ms. Danielle Profit. And then we will introduce you to the people who are not lawyers, are not representatives. They're broken-hearted parents here screaming out for justice for their child. Attorney Hilliard.
The facts of this lawsuit are as tragic as they are preventable. On August 11, 2019, Kendrick Hudson was operating a luggage tug outside the E terminal here at Charlotte Douglas Airport. Now, the lighting at the E terminal was such that Kendrick could not see but a few feet in front of the tug. One of the tugs driving ahead of Kendrick had dropped a piece of luggage. Kendrick didn't see it until it was too late, and he swerved to try and miss it. Unfortunately for Kendrick, he swerved too late. Kendrick died that night. Despite this tragedy, what we've learned is that for over a year, the union airport workers were raising safety concerns to the management at the airport and the management at American Airlines. The workers' safety concerns went unaddressed, and the problem of inadequate lighting remained unfixed. Today we stand here asking for change. No airport worker should have to go to work wondering if they will be next. Despite over a year of safety concerns, safety complaints, a tragedy of one of their own family members, American Airlines and the city of Charlotte refused to take action. We are here today demanding that action be taken. The problem is simple and dangerous. Inadequate lighting in Terminal E. The solution is easy and cheap. Fix the lighting at Terminal E. They don't need experts, they don't need consultants, they don't need to review an analysis. They need to fix the problem. I'm here with Ben Crump, I'm here with the Ryan Law Firm, and I'm here with the Hudson family. His mom and dad and the union, who are all imploring you, the City of Charlotte and American Airlines, do not let one more of your airport workers drive down Terminal E, which has been nicknamed Death Valley, one more time.
Thank you, Attorney Hilliard. Now we will hear from Union Representative Danielle Profit. who just recently testified before the United States Congress about these important issues.
Danielle, can we have you say and spell first and last name? Spell it, please.
Danielle, Donielle. Prophet, Prophet.
You're with the union here in Charlotte.
I'm with CWA Local 3645. And we represented Kendrick, and we represent 22 stations in Alabama. We're just here to say that we stand with Kendrick's family in support of getting better lighting conditions at the airport because we don't want to lose another life. We have been raising these concerns with our management. We have been to city council. We don't know what else it's going to take, but we want this lighting fixed. Kendrick died on August 11th, and the lighting has still not been addressed. So we are standing here begging to the city of Charlotte, begging to American Piedmont, we want the lighting fixed, and we can't keep hearing any more excuses because we're not willing to lose another person. Thank you.
We thank you all so much, CWA Local 3645 and all your members. Now you're about to hear from his parents. And again, this is very emotional because this was their child who died in this tragedy. And it shouldn't take a tragedy like this to make the airlines and the airport do the right thing. As Attorney Hilliard said, it's simple and it's cheap to fix this problem to prevent other loss of life. Let's make sure that Kendrick Hudson life stood for something. It stood for safety going forward for airport workers all over America. We need this Kendrick Hudson policy to be adopted by this airport and all airports across America. You're going to hear from his father next, Mr. Leon Hudson.
And can we have you spell your name?
My name is Leon, Leon Hudson, Hudson. He was more than just an employee, more than just a co-worker, more than just a brother, more than just an uncle. He was my son, and he was also my caretaker. He's been doing it for 6 years since my mom passed, and she was doing it before that. So I lost more than just a son. He was my legs. He was all the things that I needed done that I couldn't do for myself. So what American Airlines is doing, they say, we know the problem, but we're not going to fix it. Someone could have went in their own pocket and pulled out to replace a light bulb, to stick something out there. But they're saying to us in our face, doesn't matter, we're not going to fix it. So the only way for them to fix this is for them to understand, that was my son. I don't want nobody else's son to go through this. And my son is not the only one that's died behind these tugs. There's been 15 other reports in the last 10 years, and 3 since his. So this is a very, very, very important thing. He loved this job. He loved this job. You know, the day that he came into work was his day off. He came in to pick up an extra shift. You know, he wasn't out there running around with crazy people. He was, you know, he's working on, he wanted to get married. I mean, he wanted to have kids. There was a lot of stuff that was never going to happen. But I just pray that they fix this problem so no one else has to have this feeling. I don't wish this feeling on nobody. This is the hardest thing by far that I've ever had to deal with.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hudson. And as I heard one of the union representatives, many say, this is about changing behavior. Oftentimes, it has been articulated to the employees, we're trying to change behavior with our support staff. Where now you have the family and the union trying to change the behavior of the airport and the airlines. Because if they change their behavior, then this father wouldn't be brokenhearted here today, talking about he no longer doesn't have his son, but he no longer has his legs. Very heartfelt. We implore you to do the right thing. Finally, before we take your questions, you will hear from a person who is also brokenhearted beyond words, and that is his mother, Miss Erica Burney.
On August 11th, 2019, I received a call that no parent would have wanted to receive, to rush to the hospital because my son had been in an accident. Upon arriving at the hospital, not knowing what's going on, being secluded into a separate room from everyone else, and then for the doctors to come in and say, we did all we could do. That was the worst feeling in the world. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Kendrick, to know Kendrick was to love Kendrick. He was a cheerful person. He never met a stranger. And I'm just devastated by all of this. You would hope that once this happened, they would have at least put any type of lighting out there to prevent it from happening again, or to make sure it doesn't happen to any of the other employees, and nothing has been done. They're putting so many millions of dollars into renovating the airport to make it look good, but they're not doing anything for their employees. You have to ensure the safety of the employees before anything else can go right in the airport. So for nothing to be done up until this point, it just makes you angry. So I just want them to do something to ensure the safety of the other employees around the world, because from what I'm hearing, this is not just in Charlotte, it's everywhere. So I just want them to be held accountable for what's going on, because this feeling is something. I never intended to bury my son. He was 24 years old. He loved to travel. He's been a few different countries, and his birthday was in November. He was for 25th birthday. He was working late or working extra shifts so he can have money to travel for his birthday, which he never did get a chance to do. So I'm just hoping that someone does something, that the city of Charlotte, the airlines, someone steps up and becomes accountable for this accident.
It has been asked of the family and us attorneys, what do we want? Well, what we want is American Airlines in the airport to send this family the message that Kendrick's life did matter, and not just with words, but with action. And that action is very clear and obvious to everybody. The union representatives have been asking for months before this tragedy to do something about the lighting. Terminal E is known as Death Valley. It's ironic that he died in Terminal E. Send the message not just to Kendrick family, but to all your airport employees all across America that their lives matter by giving them safe working conditions. It's not that much to ask to tell your employees who dedicate themselves to faithfully serving your company every day that you find their safety to be important as well. We will take your questions, as many as we can ask with the pending litigation. Attorney Hilliard and I will try to address most of them.
What has been the response so far from the airport and American Airlines? I mean, this seems like a fairly simple request.
I'll let Alex go first.
The response from the airlines and the City of Charlotte Airport in regard to fixing the lighting conditions has been to defer to the lighting analysis, which started by not even including Terminal E, where Kendrick was killed. It was later expanded to include Terminal E. The results have been in for weeks. The results have been being evaluated, apparently, for weeks by public statements issued by the city and the airlines. However, when no action is taken to fix a simple problem, they could have fixed the problem by spending the money that they paid the experts and the consultants to put new lights in.
And that's why, we have this lawsuit, because unfortunately, it seems like unless the corporation is made to do something by the government, they won't do it. I mean, you have people begging them to do something about the inadequate lighting for months. They predicted that if you don't do something, somebody's going to get hurt. Well, somebody did get hurt. Leon Hudson's son paid the ultimate price for their inaction to do the right thing. Any other questions?
We have an email from an employee who says that he was not wearing a seatbelt at the time. Is there anything you can say about that?
So there has been absolutely zero evidence presented that Kendrick was not wearing his seatbelt.
And she also claims that he was using a personal electronic device when it happened. Was it possible he was distracted?
Zero possibilities that either of those factual scenarios are true. We are investigating each and every fact of this lawsuit. As of this moment, neither of those assertions bear any weight.
And we don't want you to lose focus on what the issue is here. You don't have to take Ben Crump's word for it, Alex, Hilliard, or the union representatives. It is objective. It is dark out there. When you're driving at night, it is obvious to anybody that if you have light, that will enhance your ability to navigate without having an accident. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. Don't let American Airlines in the airport tell you that Kendrick Hudson was not worthy of common sense. That was common sense. These airport workers every day go to work to make sure they keep their timetables, make sure people keep their luggage. The least the airlines could do, American Airlines and airlines all across America, is give them a safe working condition. It's outrageous that they still have not fixed this lighting. I mean, it's an insult. It's an insult to Leon and Erica. It's an insult.
And again, that's another example of making this about the workers changing their behavior when this is really about the corporations needing to change their behavior.
Yes, and that's Attorney Chris Barber, our co-counsel based here in Charlotte.
Now, when Ms. Pasha testified against or to the congressional hearing, talking about how there are no state and federal laws in place to hold them accountable when it comes to the lighting, is that something else you guys are trying to change with this lawsuit?
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that I will ask Ms. Barber to come back to the podium just for a second to elaborate on that. But as we have heard and we continue to say, the government needs to make this policy, because it seems to be that American Airlines won't do anything unless they are ordered to do something by the government. And so everybody has a role to play in fixing this problem. Ms. Crawford, would you like to elaborate on this?
I'll let Mickey explain part of the main concerns that we have is like in our work environment, we report safety concerns. We can report safety concerns to OSHA, but if there's no standard to hold the company accountable to, then our reporting to OSHA just goes in vain.
Sorry, just wait a second. She's having me read it off. Put your mic up first and then yell. Can we have you say and spell your first and last name?
Sure. It's Mickey, M-I-C-K-I. The last name is Siegel de Hernandez, capital S-I-E-G-E-L, lowercase d-e, capital H-E-R-N-A-N-D-E-Z. And I'm the Health and Safety Director for the Communications Workers of America for the National here after this happened. One of the problems is a belief that that OSHA will just fix everything and that there are standards for everything. That's not how we look at health and safety. We identify that there are problems and there are hazards. We want those hazards corrected. And that's what we're still calling on for the airlines and for the city of Charlotte to take care of. With regard to the lighting, there are gaps. There are parts of standards that apply to other kinds of work. But there is no OSHA standard for lighting for the kind of work that Kendrick Hudson is doing.
What's the feeling like when you're down working in Death Valley and on shift there?
Oh, it's terrible. Agents complain all day. They've been complaining all day. Like, I think it started getting to a point where people just started kind of taking it for granted, calling it Death Valley and chuckling like, oh God. Like, it's a common thing, like something's gonna happen back here. Because we've had, people have gotten hurt, just not a death. And it's frightening. It's frightening for our agents to be out there working in those dark conditions.
How frustrating is it to know that you made these complaints months before something happened, and then the one thing you were trying to prevent ultimately ended up happening?
Oh, it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. As soon as it happened, the agents were outraged. Like, because they know that we've been voicing this concern for well a year. Thank you.
We also, not that they're going to speak, we just want to identify that Kendrick's brothers are also present with us. This was a loss not only for his parents, but for his brothers. I think everybody has spoken. We would just say this, as I was talking to his mother and his stepfather. They think how much Kendrick enjoyed his job, and he really did it to the best of his ability. We want American Airlines and the airport to try to address this matter to the best of their abilities. And it shouldn't take a policy to do that, but they would like, if such a policy was passed by the city of Charlotte and the airport authority, that it would bear his name, the Kendrick Hudson policy. That is to have adequate lighting at every part of the tarmac, even Terminal E, which was known by many employees as Death Valley. And it's just tragic that his death actually occurred at Terminal E, which many of them have come to know it as Death Valley. And it's very emotional. So in conclusion, I think his mother and his father and his brothers, they wanted to remind everybody of his name. Kendrick Darrell Hudson, life mattered. And we want to make sure that the Kendrick Darrell Hudson policy applies here at this airport, and hopefully will become the policy at airports all across America for all safety of airport workers. We thank you, and we'll keep you informed as we continue on this journey to justice.